Final warning for Scorpio, the 8th of June to the 11th of June. There is someone whose name starts with the letter squily interfering with your path of evolution. Not through obvious actions, but through energy, the kind that silently wears down your willpower and subtly diverts the flow of abundance the universe has lined up for you. If you're reading this, it's not a coincidence. It's because your soul arm with Scorpio's deep oceanic intuition has known it all along. You've sensed that something's off. You felt a pull holding you back, a force you couldn't name. You've had dreams interrupted, moments where success was within reach only to slip away. You felt unexplainably tired, disconnected from yourself. And somewhere in the fog of all those scattered pieces, that name keeps echoing in your subconscious. This person may have once played a significant role in your life, or may simply be someone you gave emotional space to. Either way, they're still holding on to a piece of your power, and it's time you reclaim it. Scorpio, surrender has never been your style. You are the sign of rebirth. From the ashes, you rise again. But that kind of transformation only happens when you're brave enough to cut ties, to draw a clear line between light and shadow. Between the 8th of June and the 11th of June, the universe will send you a clear signal. Either you rise and release the lingering remnants of the past, or you stay trapped in a cycle that keeps repeating. This isn't just a forecast. This is your final warning. From the 8th of June to the 11th of June, a rare and intense astrological phenomenon is approaching you. The sun symbol of action, ego, and conscious light will form a tense square with Neptune, the planet that governs illusion, spirituality, dreams, and the fog that clouds intuition. And for you, Scorpio, the sign of transformation, hidden truths, and emotional rebirth, this event isn't just an external shakeup. It's a mystical activation within you. When the sun's harsh light collides with Neptune's mist, it doesn't just reveal the outside world. It uncovers what you've buried deep inside. You'll begin to feel uneasy around people you once trusted. You'll hesitate over decisions that once seemed obvious. And most unsettling of all, you'll start to realize there's someone again, their name starts with S, quietly skewing your path. They don't have to say a word. Sometimes, just a glance, just a subtle touch on your deepest doubt is enough to throw you off course. Even a fleeting question like, "You really think that's the right choice?" can be enough to extinguish the sacred fire your soul just lit. Scorpio, you are not weak. You are intense and razor sharp. But because you love deeply, trust deeply, and feel profoundly, you're prone to getting trapped in emotional entanglements that others can never fully understand. The Buddha once said, "The deluded believe delay brings peace, but the awakened see it for what it is, a chain wrapped in silk." And now S may very well be that chain, an old connection, a gaze that once made you believe you were illuminated. But the truth is, they're not standing with the light you're moving toward. They're standing between you and that light. If in recent days you've experienced being haunted by the return of someone from the past in your thoughts, sudden chaos around financial decisions, or a strange fog of confusion every time you interact with this person, then this is a warning. The universe doesn't speak in words. The universe speaks in sensations. And if your body is tensing up right now, if your heart clenches as you hear this, then stop, breathe, listen, and prepare to act. In the 3 days ahead, the 8th of June to 11, if you don't release S from your energy system, a new cycle of stagnation will begin. And for Scorpio, that cycle won't be simple. It could last 6 years, a deep spiral where you'll have to claw your way back toward the light. At Buddhism Decoded, every video is not just a message, It's a ritual of karmic cleansing. If your soul is trembling in resonance right now, hit the like button as a declaration to the universe. I am ready to let go. Leave a comment, I have awakened, or drop the minus emoji Scorpio symbol of rebirth. If you're ready to break free from the energetic manipulation of S, and don't forget to subscribe, because in the next video, I'll guide you through a sacred ritual to sever the invisible cord tying you to S. Every door that has closed will open again once you choose yourself. Finally, share this message with another Scorpio, someone who may be drowning in the memory of someone long gone, someone who hasn't yet found the courage to admit true light does not make you wait. It simply stands quietly and invites you to step toward it. You are so close. A financial opportunity is on the verge of unfolding. An important encounter awaits your arrival. A new beginning, one you once believed in with your entire soul, is almost ready. But then you stopped. Not because you lacked courage, not because you weren't capable, but because a faint mist slipped into your mind, as light as vapor, but as heavy as stone. A feeling so invisible, yet unmistakably real. As if someone was standing behind you, gazing deep into your soul, saying nothing, but dragging your heart into a pit. Scorpio, you are sensing something no one else can. This is not an illusion. This is the moment when someone else's energy is infiltrating your decision-making system. And if that person is S, someone you once loved, trusted, someone you once called your light, then you need to awaken right now, because their energy is no longer pure. They don't need to be near you. As long as they're still in your mind, they can still bind you with an invisible cord known in Buddhism as spiritual attachment. An old look, a phrase that once shook your entire being, a feeling planted in your heart from long ago. All of it has become energetic coding, anchoring you to a version of yourself you were meant to outgrow lifetimes ago. From the 8th of June to 11, the universe will no longer wait. The soon embodiment of truth and action will confront Neptune head-on, the symbol of illusions, fantasies, and emotional chaos. This isn't just an astrological event. This is a brutal purification, a time when truth may be hidden beneath fake kindness and control disguised as love. If someone says to you, "I care about you. I just don't want to see you get hurt. I don't want you to regret anything." Pause. Ask yourself, is this light or is it a chain? Because real light never makes you doubt yourself, never causes hesitation, never chokes the will rising inside you. It doesn't need you to be perfect. It only asks that you have the courage to walk toward truth. If after every conversation with S, you find yourself shrinking, losing direction, or questioning the path you once chose with conviction, remember the words of the Buddha. Not all softness is compassion. Some embraces, though gentle, are woven from unresolved karmic threads. And says your karma. Your soul chose them as a trial, a doorway you must walk through, not to save them, but to liberate yourself. They may not mean to hurt you, but they no longer belong to the light you're moving toward. They're simply not ready to let you go. Because you, a Scorpio soul so deep, intense, and mysterious, were once the light, the anchor, the energy they couldn't find in anyone else. But the issue is not love. The issue is they don't want to see you rise above them. They don't want to see you wealthier, stronger, happier, not through obvious words, but through subtle signals and covert manipulation, a careless joke that makes you question your worth, a caring suggestion that sends your inner peace into chaos. A stare so tight it feels like it's choking your progress, even when your heart is ready to soar. Scorpio, you are the warrior of truth. But if you don't sever this connection in the next 3 days, a stagnant cycle will begin, one that lasts 6 years, mirroring the time it takes Neptune to return to its opposing position with the Sun. In a private note never widely published, Baba Vanga once wrote, "When the light of the reborn soul is clouded by the mist of false virtue, if it does not release itself, it will remain imprisoned for 6 more moons." Scorpio, you are that reborn soul of the shadow and light, and the one in the mist may be the person named S, the one you still haven't dared to call out by name. You don't need to hate them. You don't need to blame them. You only need to choose yourself. In tarot, when the moon appears beside justice, this is no longer a warning. This is the universe's ultimatum. You must choose, stay in the fading illusion of a misaligned love, or awaken and return to your light. You already know what's been holding you back. You've already felt that you deserve more. Now, there's only one thing left: action. Even if it's just a small step, don't reply to them. Don't see them again. Don't explain. And don't delay your dreams just because S isn't ready. If you feel even the faintest light just ignited in your chest, don't extinguish it just because someone else can't see it. Your light doesn't need to be understood. It only needs to be protected. And only you alone can do that. Tap like if you feel your soul has just been awakened. Comment, "I sever the cord," or leave a Yeti emoji if you're ready to walk away from the mist of manipulation called S. Share this message with another Scorpio, someone still stuck in an unclear relationship, not yet brave enough to call it what it truly is. And if you haven't yet hit subscribe, do it now, not just to follow, but as a sacred commitment to yourself that you will never return to the darkness again. Reopen the gates of abundance. Shield your soul with the light of Buddhist wisdom and astrology. All the signs, the pathways, the guidance, they've already been arranged. Now it's time for you to choose liberation. If your heart has ever whispered, "What if they're still part of my destiny?" then know this: that very question is what's keeping you frozen at the gates that were always ready to open. Because light cannot flow into a heart still clinging to ashes. Prosperity cannot enter a soul still bound by unnamed memories. And good fortune cannot rise if you're still submerged in the energetic tides of someone named S. In a small scrap of paper, scribbled in trance, Baba Vanga once left this message: the one called S will not use a knife, will not raise their voice, will not chant a spell. They will use soft eyes and words light as air to keep Scorpio's soul trapped in an old jar. And only when that soul stops listening will the new door finally open. Scorpio, are you still listening? Listening to whispers wrapped in love, but tied with invisible cords, pulling your fate back into the same spiral? But during these days, the 8th of June to 11, if you awaken, you can dissolve the karmic weight pressing on your soul with one simple ritual. Because as the Buddha once taught, all the cords in the universe are illusions, as long as your heart no longer clings to them. Energy cord cleansing ritual. Step by step. Choose a quiet night. Dim the lights to the lowest level. If possible, play a gentle instrumental track like soft bells, water, or wind. Sit down in stillness. In front of you, a white candle symbolizing pure light and cleansing. A blank piece of paper and a pen. Begin. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. With every breath out, imagine you are pushing away gray smoke from your mind. When your heart is calm, write the name of the person you know your soul is still energetically bound to. The one who confuses your path who makes you question yourself, whose softness carries a hidden power that manipulates your energy. Write their name not in anger. Write it with the compassion of a mission completed. You don't need hatred. You only need release. Fold the paper and hold it in your palm. Look deeply into the flickering flame of the white candle. Recall every memory, the gaze that once made you tremble, the words that once made you freeze, the moment you felt like you weren't yourself anymore. Let it all melt like rising smoke. Now, gently bring the paper to the flame. Let the sacred fire burn through the invisible cord. As the paper catches fire, whisper to yourself, I cut the invisible cord. I forgive. I return. And I choose the light. When the paper has burned to ash, place your hand over your heart and say again with your soul's voice, I return to myself. I no longer belong to that gentle shadow. Sit in complete silence for at least 1 minute. No words, no thoughts, just full presence with yourself. You might feel an unseen release, or tears may rise, like a long block stream. Both are sacred. They mean your soul is being purified, and every tear shed in this ritual is a drop of sacred water cleansing past life karma. To close the ritual, do one simple but sacred thing. Write down something you've been postponing just because of the invisible presence of S. It could be a financial decision you hesitated to make, a door you almost opened but shut, or simply a dream you convinced yourself it's not time yet, just because in their eyes you never felt enough. Write it now and take action within 24 to 72 hours after this ritual. Not to prove anything to S, but to prove to the universe that you've chosen yourself. This is the key to unlock true prosperity, because the universe will not pour new energy into a soul still clinging to ashes. The universe will not send miracles to someone still hiding inside the shadow of memory. Only those souls who dare to let go will be allowed to step into the destiny that's been waiting all along. If you've made it this far, leave a sign for the universe to know you're here. Tap like as a sacred vow. From this moment on, no one can pull me back to the version of me who once forgot who I was. Comment, I return to my light, or leave the symbols blank and blank to rise in rhythm with thousands of Scorpio souls awakening together. Share this message with another Scorpio, someone still trapped in an invisible bond they can't even name. You might be the only one who can bring them to this ritual. And sometimes, just one gentle nudge can shift the course of destiny. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Not just to follow, but as a soul commitment. I will not return to the shadows. I will walk with the light. And I will always have a place to come home to when my heart begins to waver. Scorpio, you were not born to be bound, not born to shrink into someone else's old vision of you. You were born to transform, to rise again, and to outgrow everything that ever held you down. Your true soul only awakens when you dare to cut the final cord. And if you want to light up that path even more, choose a simple action after this ritual. Call a friend you've been avoiding. Reopen a project you once left unfinished. Write down 3 things you will do in the next 7 days. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be true. It just has to vibrate in alignment with the light you've just reclaimed. Because sometimes the smallest action is the loudest signal, telling the universe, I am ready. Scorpio, the universe has never turned away from you. It was simply waiting for you to untie the cord you once wrapped around yourself. And you who just released S from your energy field are the living proof of rebirth. Awakening doesn't need noise. It only needs one moment, like light slipping quietly into your chest, bringing a peace that requires no explanation. That's when you know your soul has come home. You no longer live by someone else's story. You are no longer bound by the gaze of someone from the past. You are no longer the Scorpio being controlled. You are the Scorpio who now leads your own destiny. Tap like if you feel you've just entered a new cycle. Comment, I'm stepping into the new gateway. Or leave the symbol dub as a declaration to the universe. I am crossing through, not with hope, but with full presence. And if you know another Scorpio who needs this, share this video with them. They might not yet have the strength to cut the cord themselves. But sometimes, just a whisper is enough to change the entire flow of a life. If you're still here, not just with your eyes, but with the full presence of your soul, then know this. You've just crossed a threshold that not every soul is brave enough to walk through. No one listens to a message this deep until the end, unless they are standing on the edge between the old and rebirth. And Scorpio, that's you. You didn't open that gateway with force. You didn't beg your way in. You crossed with one quiet but powerful decision. I am ready to return to my true self. In the past few days, you've faced layers of old energy that once seemed buried. You dared to name S, not with bitterness, but with the gaze of a soul that has matured and awakened. You performed the ritual of letting go, not to deny the past, but to free yourself from a cycle that no longer belongs to you. You walked through the portal of transformation without applause, without needing anyone's recognition, just a silence so deep, it touched the soul of the universe. The moment you stopped asking, can I really do this? And started declaring, I have chosen, was the moment your rebirth began. No noise, no need to be understood, just a quiet yet earth-shaking shift, where you slowly peeled away your old layers and emerged as something entirely new. Maybe S once felt like your safe place, once your light, once the one you believed was the only one. But today, you remember the truth that was buried for far too long. True light never makes you doubt yourself, and true love never blocks your growth. And from this moment on, you are no longer the Scorpio of yesterday. You are the Scorpio who has awakened, the one who now sees, who loves you from the soul, who keeps you stuck from fear, who lifts you up, and who pulls you down. You see yourself clearer than ever before, deeper, brighter, untouchable, no longer needing anyone's permission to shine. When you leave this message, leave like someone who has walked through a sacred rite. From this moment on, let every step be a declaration to the universe. I choose faith, not someone else's expectations. I choose connections that help me grow, not what feels familiar. I choose my path not to prove anything, but because I've seen the light within me is real. Scorpio, you were never weak. You just loved too deeply, gave too much, believed too honestly, to the point where you forgot this one truth. Even light needs to be protected. And today, you began protecting yours. If your heart was stirred, let the universe know you have crossed through. Tap like as a sacred confirmation. I've walked through the gate. Comment, I choose the light. Or leave the symbols and aim to unite with thousands of other Scorpio souls, rising with you silently but powerfully. Share this message with another Scorpio, someone still bound by a cord they can't name. They may not say it aloud, but you know, they're waiting for a voice to awaken them. And you are the one carrying that light. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, not just to continue this journey, but as a soul commitment. I will not return to the old shadows. I will not retreat. And I will always have a sacred space to return to whenever my light needs to be rekindled. A space like today, a space without judgment, only light. And you, because Scorpio, You were born to be reborn again and again. You don't need to shrink to fit someone else's vision. You don't need to pause your path for someone not bright enough to see your fire. From this moment forward, you are no longer a river held back. You are a waterfall of fire, surging towards your new destiny.